tweet out. So I also wanted to give an update that this is kind of the only game in town right now with a tornado threat. So if you're watching from eastern Arkansas, you're done with the severe weather threat. Memphis, we're done with the severe weather threat. The winds are going to remain very breezy once the storms pass you. But right now, this is our only tornado concern. We've got wind and rain elsewhere, but this is really what we're concerned about. And again, Danielle was going to draw that storm track. I'll help you out, Danielle. And I just will pull it up over here. That'll let you free up to let you do something else. Taylor, 8:55, Ole Miss and Oxford at 9:01. I do not like at all how that line is directly over Oxford. And you'll notice here shear. That is the combined winds. What the radar can do as the radar sends out a beam, I'm not going to spend long on this. I know you don't want a meteorology class, but as the radar spins around, it can measure wind in two directions, toward and away. It can then combine that into how fast the storm is spinning, which is 103 miles an hour. That's coming into Oxford. So Oxford, you have 10 minutes now. Please, folks, call your friends, your kids that are at Ole Miss and let them know that they need to be inside. Our producer, Julie, working back in the booth, and we've got a whole host of folks back there. I don't want to forget them. They are all working so hard tonight. We've got Jackson making sure our live stream is working. Our engineer, Shango, just had to drive out to Lakeland to reboot our transmitter. We are now back on air on WATN, so a big thank you to him and a big thank you to the folks out back in the booth working with us. I know you see Danielle and I, but there's about 10 other folks here in the building helping to keep you safe as well. Julie's one of those. She's got a camera right now down near Oxford. This is right there kind of on the square at Lamar and University. This is not far from the Lyric. I've seen many a good concert at the Lyric. I don't know if there's one tonight, but that's just kind of getting your bearings straight. This is not far from Town Square, where kind of everything happens in Oxford. You see the lightning starting to come down. I'm hoping that's grabbing people's attention because like Danielle mentioned, we've all been in college before. I've been in college during tornadoes, and even as a meteorology major, I didn't really want to focus on that on a Friday night. So shoot them a text, let them know wherever they are, they need to find somewhere to be. It's a little too late now to be driving around, finding a better place to go. You need to find a better place wherever you are. You need to seek shelter now in that tornado safe place. That tornado warning has now been extended to include the rest of Lafayette County. I don't know exactly how long it's going to go to. I'm going to guess until about 9:30 now for the rest of Lafayette County. So Oxford now, the entire community and most of Lafayette County under a tornado warning until 9:30. What that means is a lot of folks now are going to be getting more phone alerts. So if you're just tuning in and
sirens
you're
are
just
going
joining
off
us,
there.
yeah, sirens are going off, which is good. And that's what sirens are meant for. Sirens are not meant to wake you up in the middle of the night. They're meant for folks that are walking around the square, getting a bite to eat, going out for a late night drink. It gets their attention, and then they can turn on their phone or their TV and get some new information. Danielle, if you could respond to Mike in the chat and just give him an update on that Summer and Highland flooding that we saw. Okay. Just want to pass that along. The Weather Service always asks for reports. I wanted to make sure we got that passed along to them. We did have that reports over. Oh, Jackson will do it. Okay, thank you, Jackson. Appreciate that.
There's a new bulletin about the tornado warning.
Yeah, and that's that new box. So Danielle, if you want to read that, this is that new box that you see there. While you do that, if y'all want to take both of us on screen, I can keep the storm track up.
Yeah, because he's got the good information there.
Yeah.
So this is a new tornado warning, and it is for Lafayette and Marshall counties. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Springdale. We've been talking about Springdale, Trevor, for a while, or near Water Valley, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Radar indicated hail as well. So here's a look at what I've been looking at as well. This has definitely been showing a good hail signature in that area. So not only are we looking at high winds and heavy rainfall falling right now near the Oxford area, but we are also looking at some possible strong, severe sized hail as well. So definitely a lot to unpack here. We all know that there's a lot of people that at least live in the Oxford area, not including those students that will be going to Ole Miss, but this storm is definitely a strong one. And I know we keep taking that same TDOT camera. You're not really seeing. You're like, hey, that's not much going on, but it's headed that way. They kind of drew this box downstream just a little bit. The basis of the storm is right here on your screen. So a little bit west a little bit of Oxford, Mississippi, but it's going to be headed that way. We've been tracking this thing since it started, and it was barely clipping Quitman County, headed towards Batesville, and we knew that in Oxford that this was going to be a storm that was cause for concern at the very least. Once again, I want to take a look at our wind speeds and see what we're looking like, because at one point 85-mile-an-hour winds, that is some serious stuff, folks. Unfortunately, that would definitely blow down some trees, cause power outages, make very dangerous driving conditions. So we can't stress this enough. Make sure that you are in that safe place, or at least in a place that you can hunker down for at least the next hour or 2 hours as well. Here's a look at our wind speeds right now. It just updated, so that's good news. We are seeing the winds die down just a little bit. I think we just went off the air of ABC once again. So I know we are struggling, but we're going to stay on Facebook and our app. This is another great time to go ahead and download our app and make sure that you have multiple ways to get communication. We go ahead and show that on our screen. It's free in the App Store as well on Google Play. You can text app to 901-321-7520. Trevor, what do you got over there?
Here's what I want to do for now. From here on out for the next couple of minutes, I want to keep us in these boxes, switch one of us out, and keep that Lamar and University camera up in the other one, because I want to keep an eye on Oxford as this storm rolls in. So from here on out, until we say otherwise, just leave us just like this, because I want to keep an eye on that Lamar and University camera, and we could pop in and out just a little bit. But what I want to show you is there's Ole Miss, there's Oxford. This is our main area of rotation right here, that red dot. So this is now moving directly in to Oxford, and Lamar and University is going to be right in there, pretty close to downtown Oxford. So this is going to be there within a matter of moments. Again, this is a tornado warning that is in effect for the city of Oxford and the campus of Ole Miss until 9:30. This likely, if this is a tornado, we don't have any confirmation. Thank God we do not have confirmation that this is a tornado on the ground. Let's pray now that it is not. Right now, this is a radar indication that there is rotation in the clouds that could very quickly produce a tornado. Right now, it does not look like there is an official tornado on the ground. That can happen at any moment. And again, this is going to be in Oxford and on the campus of Ole Miss within a matter of moments. Very high BTI still, 4.4. That basically means on a scale of 1 to 10, the likelihood of this being a tornado on the ground right now is a 4.4. That's a 44% chance. I don't like those odds. So Oxford, you really, really need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Shear still very high at 92 miles an hour. And this is zooming to the northeast. It's going to be in Oxford and Ole Miss within a matter of 5 or 6 minutes. I'm watching the camera over here. It's starting to kind of bob a little bit. We're getting some winds here. We have another camera that I think we can show also that's also just down the road. And this one might be a better one to stick on because this is a little further down, 278. So this is going to get you a better view as the storm first approaches. And then we can switch back to that Lamar and University. So this is 278 and near Jackson, coming into Ole Miss and the campus of Ole Miss and the city of Oxford within the next 5 minutes. So if you're watching us at a bar in downtown Oxford, I know y'all are out there right now. You really need to be in your safe place right now. If you don't know where that is, a bathroom or a closet in the middle portion of your home, you want to stay away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and cover your head. It sounds silly, but if you've got a bicycle helmet, a pillow, anything you can do to put on top of your head, that is going to be your best bet. Just in a worst case scenario. Again, right now it doesn't look like this is a confirmed tornado, but it's a strong enough signature that in a matter of moments we could have that tornado touchdown. All right, just for a quick time, I do want to take me back full screen, and I'm going to zoom into some streets here and get kind of a better view of where this rotation is. Let's get ready to go back to those boxes just at a moment if we need to.
Hey,
Danielle,
real
go
quick,
ahead.
there is a structure fire in Lafayette County right now, and that would would be in the 900 block of County Road 251. So that's probably lightning related in that area, Trevor.
You hate to see that. Okay.
Yep.
And we hope it's not a home. Maybe it's an out, a shed or something like that, an outbuilding. But thoughts going out to them. Yeah, structure fire in the 900 block of County Road 251. Units are just now getting on scene, but possibly lightning related. So I do want to give you an update here on where this rotation is. Let me go back over to the Columbus radar and that area of rotation. That's going to give us a little bit of a better view. So there's that possible rotation now pretty much over Oxford. You could see it right now. Let's go back to the boxes. Okay, let's go back to the boxes, and we're going to stay on this for just a little bit. Possible tornado now right over Oxford and the city of the campus of Ole Miss and the city of Oxford. Let's take this camera full, this MDOT camera. I don't like people driving around in this. As soon as we can get this camera over here, let's just take it full screen because even if there's not a tornado in here, the winds are going to be something crazy, and you can see that they are. Again, as soon as we can get this camera full screen, let's just go ahead and take it full for at least a couple of seconds. Here we go. So you can see the wind. So this is, again, Jackson at University in downtown Oxford, where the bars are, where undoubtedly there is a good bit of college kids out having a drink, enjoying their college years, having a good time. They're dealing with this severe weather tonight. And luckily, what we're not seeing is catastrophic damage. All right, if you are watching on CW30, I want to welcome you to CW30 News at 9. Tonight, the news is weather. We are watching the potential of some severe weather rolling through the Mid-South. Tornado warning has been issued now for Lafayette and parts of Marshall County. That's the little boot heel of Marshall County, Mississippi. That is going to go until 9:30. But again, you're taking a live view in Oxford where that possible circulation is moving over. Glad to see that things are not blowing around too badly. The traffic lights are staying on their arms, so that is good. No major concerns there. The winds are, again, fierce. You don't want to be outside in this, but not seeing a tornado. Winds are picking up a little bit there, but again, that most serious area of rotation now looks like maybe it's just to the east of Oxford along 278 near Brittany Woods, Rolling Woods, and then moving down to the east. So again, that tornado warning is going to continue here for the next little bit. Let's switch over to the velocity mode. I just want to check this out. Not the best view there. And you'll bear with me, I just kind of have to investigate this. I know y'all don't like to see this, these colors. It just looks kind of funky to you. But what you're seeing is the reds are going away from the radar. That's winds going away from the radar. For this one, we are looking from the Memphis radar site. So if you're in Oxford, the reds are going this way. Greens are coming this way. The brighter the color, the stronger the winds. So there is definitely an area of circulation there to the east of Oxford now, east of 7, east of 9, on 278, moving off to the east. Let's go back to our shear product and we'll give you a better idea of kind of that bull's eye right there. If there is a tornado, it is going to be down to the east of Oxford. So with that being said, let's take this back full screen, the radar view and myself full screen, because it looks like Oxford's doing okay. That's why I wanted to keep that up. Oxford is hanging on. That's good. It does not look like we had a tornado touchdown, at least in downtown Oxford, but still good signs of rotation. And in this case, unfortunately, when I say good, I mean not so good. All right, I got a lot of junk on your screen. Bear with me. This is your storm track area of rotation near Potts Camp by 9:18, Hickory Flat by 9:20. Thank you, Stuart, getting that banner off the screen. I know I've got a lot of boxes up here, so bear with me. Pretty much what you're looking at, again, that's the storm track, New Albany and Union County by 5:24, Blue Mountain and Blue Mountain College by 9:27, and then Ashland, if this storm holds together, possibly by 9:30. Still seeing good signs of shear, 92-mile-an-hour winds circulating around in there. The potential of some hail, and again, a BTI of 4.0. That is a scale of 1 to 10, the likelihood of this being a tornado. That's come down a little bit. Hopefully, it will continue to do so. But again, the Weather Service also agreeing with pretty much just what I was saying, that that is starting to kind of broaden out a little bit. And by broadening out, it means that the rotation is not quite as strong. We love good news at ABC24. I want to give that to you while we have some. The tornado watch has been canceled for Memphis and the Memphis metro area. Here's your alert map. We can pop this back up full screen. this is my favorite time of the night. I get to give you an all clear. If you are worried about the storms, here's who's done. Eastern Arkansas, you are all clear from the threat of severe weather. Much of western Tennessee is now clear. Shelby County and Memphis clear from the severe weather threat. Fayette County, Haywood, Tipton, Lauderdale, Crockett, and Dyer, you're clear from the severe weather threat. DeSoto, Tate, Tunica, and Coahoma in Mississippi, you're also clear of the severe weather threat. We are still concerned about the rest of northern Mississippi, also Hardeman and McNairy County in Tennessee. Now, once that main line of storms move out, we've still got very strong winds behind those storms that are going to continue for the next little bit, 30 to 40 miles an hour. But it is promising to see that those storms are moving out, and luckily they are moving out with a quickness. Quickly, and then Danielle, I'll come back over to you. I do just want to give one more wide view. I know folks kind of like to see what's going on. Not everybody's watching in Oxford. I understand that. This is that main line of thunderstorms we're still watching from Henderson, Tennessee, coming into Selmer. Selmer, you've got about 10 or 15 minutes. Bolivar, the worst is now past you. Ashland, it is pretty much right on top of you now. Also down to Holly Springs. Red Banks, the worst is past you. Pretty much right on top of Oxford and Batesville, but it's all moving off to the east. So anybody past this line, again, all of eastern Arkansas, Memphis, DeSoto County, the Delta, and a good chunk of western Tennessee now clear from that severe weather threat. Unfortunately, again, we still do have that tornado warning that is working for Lafayette County in Mississippi until 9:30. It does look like some good news that the worst of the rotation has cleared Oxford, and I'm not hearing any reports of damage. That is some great news. We'll check our debris mode, and we've got some fuzziness in here. That just kind of looks like some interference with the radar. I'm not too concerned about that. Pretty much what I'm looking for now, and again, a bucket of spilled paint. I understand, I know this doesn't make sense, and I'm sorry that I have to show it, but it's pretty much just a way for me to make sure that a tornado did not touch down and throw anything up in the air. And the radar can pick that up. Pretty much with what I'm seeing, I can pretty much determine that we did not have a tornado touch down and cause serious damage. So that is some good news, but still some very strong winds. It does look like, again, the worst of that has passed Oxford, but if you live east of Oxford on 278, I still need you in your tornado safe place as that storm continues to march off to the east. All right, Danielle, what are you tracking over there?
I'm taking a look at the severe thunderstorm warning that is moving through McNairy County right now. Here's a look at that. That does not expire until around 9:45. That's one thing that we have not really talked about lately, is that there are still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for West Tennessee. So Lexington at 9:19 p.m., Wildersville at 9:27 p.m., Parsons at 9:32 p.m. This is for a severe thunderstorm warning that is moving northeast at around 63 miles an hour. So things are definitely still picking up. The BTI is around a 2.8, so that's not really showing us real, strength per se. However, definitely still a strong storm. This is still a storm that came through. It traveled all the way across our viewing area and through the metro Memphis area as well. Downpours, definitely heard that. Even some possible small hail. You can see that radar scan just updated. The good news is about these storms is that they are moving very fast. So you might hear the little rainfall. You might hear some thunder outside. You might be seeing some lightning flashes. However, the storm moving very, very fast. Now, if we take a look at our entire viewing area and what we are anticipating, the worst of the storm is definitely moving through North Mississippi right now. And that is for that tornado warning. If I move it up just a little bit so we can see it a little bit better, this is encompassing Lafayette County right now. That storm still seems to be at least producing some high winds at the very least. I have been keeping my eye on it, and possible hail involved with this storm as well. So that's a little bit concerning. I know a lot of people just there's not much you can do about a hail threat other than move your car inside. And if you haven't done it at this point, unfortunately, it's probably a little bit too late. But I'm gonna put another track on this storm for us. So Hickory Flat at 9:20 p.m., Myrtle at 9:21 p.m., New Albany at 9:24 p.m., Blue Mountain at 9:27, Ripley at 9:31, and Dumas at 9:33, and Faulkner at 9:37 p.m. So this storm still very strong. You can see this red on your screen. That shows us that there's some high winds involved in this as well. So even though we did not see a possible tornado involved with this as it crossed through Oxford, it's still got some very high winds involved in it. So if you do know anyone that lives in this area, or if you live in that area, you definitely want to make sure that you're in your safe place at this time. Once again, Hickory Flat at 9:20 p.m. So you got about 19-20 minutes to get there. Myrtle at 9:21, New Albany at 9:24, Blue Mountain at 9:27, Ripley at 9:31, Dumas at 9:33, and Faulkner at 9:37. This is saying that it's moving around 83 miles an hour. That's why this storm system is moving very, very fast, because we're definitely seeing things develop very fast. We got on the air probably around 7, and in the last 2 hours, we have been seeing things kind of progressively take motion northeast and get out of our viewing area. I want to see exactly if maybe it is picking up on some possible hail. Which that's not too bad, but the rain rate is about 2 inches an hour, so heavy downpours moving through Lafayette County, Mississippi right now. That is definitely some heavy rainfall, maybe even some possible streets could be flooding, especially if you live in a flood-prone area. Definitely a cause for concern there. We take a look at some of our wind speeds in that area. What can we expect for our wind speeds? We have been seeing them kind of die down. When we first started talking about this one specific storm, we were seeing wind speeds maybe picking up around 83 miles an hour. That was radar indicated, but now it's around 45 miles an hour. But that's nothing to take lightly. Just because it has died down around 40 miles an hour, the winds are still very, very high in that area. So definitely still keeping our eye on this storm. So it says that right now, the National Weather Service is looking at the circulation over Cambridge, which means it will be clear of Lafayette, which is good, in about 5 to 7 minutes. That's what we like to see. All across the Mid-South, we're starting to see things kind of get a little bit better. We're seeing them scale back our tornado watch. And I know it was in effect until midnight, but the good news is we don't have to wait to midnight for some places, especially here in the metro Memphis area. Now, we do have a few flash flood warnings. The good thing is it's not for our viewing area per se, but for Obion County. Great news here as I'm clicking on a few things to take a better look. We were seeing a lot of hail path with this as it was traveling northeast, but as you can see now, not much pink on your screen, which is good news. That means this storm is kind of settling down just a little bit. So both the hail risk dwindling down as well as the high wind risk dwindling down just a little bit. I know we keep taking a look at our possible debris detector. We're not seeing anything in that area as well, which is good news. We like to see when things kind of calm down, even though this tornado warning is still in effect for Lafayette County until 9:30 tonight. So we have around 20 more minutes to talk about this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of extended and continue to go north towards Ripley. And as you can see, our newest track at Hickory Flat at 9:30 p.m. as well as Myrtle and New Albany at 9:34 and Blue Mountain at 9:39 p.m. So this is going to head straight up north, headed towards Ripley, Tennessee as well. That's still part of our viewing area. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and extended that as well. Here's another look. Let's take a look at our possible power outages across the Mid-South. You can see 16,000 people here in the metro Memphis area maybe without power. 900 customers in Panola County, Mississippi. That's where we were seeing very high lightning strikes in that area. Around 300 customers in Quitman County, 200 customers in Haywood County. And the storm, just for reference, is headed right along this line here. So Benton, Hardeman, McNary, Tippin, Alcorn, even though you don't have any power outages just yet, that does not mean that you need to let your guard down by any means. Here's another look at our severe weather alerts. Once again, Trevor just showed you this, but this is what we're looking at for our current tornado watch. So multiple places still included in that tornado watch. McNary, Alcorn, Tippa, Hardeman, and Benton, you guys haven't even seen the worst of it yet, unfortunately. So And just make sure that you are keeping your guard up. In fact, let's take a little bit of a look of see exactly what we can anticipate for the rest of tonight. This is a look at our future cast. So what can you anticipate throughout the next few hours? You can see 11 o'clock p.m. still things kind of winding down, but over the next few hours by 1 a.m. we will be completely dry. I mean, completely dry. So that means that the severe weather threat for the entire Mid-South should be over at least in the next 2.5 hours. I know that seems like it's going to be quite some time, but it's really not. This storm system has been moving very, very fast. I've been keeping my eye on it pretty much all evening. I saw it develop as it was moving through Arkansas. We saw a lot of tornado warnings in that area, and we have seen a few here, but not as many as I saw in Arkansas. Here's a better look at our entire viewing area. What can we expect? There's still this tornado warning ongoing for Lafayette County, and there is also a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45 tonight. Trevor, what are you looking at over there?
Hey, I was going to talk about that heavy rain. You mentioned the flash flood warnings. We've had a good bit of rain, and there are some streets that are flooded out and about around Memphis. Here's a look at those rainfall totals. Here in Memphis, we've got about an inch of rain, 2.5 inches in Wynn, up toward Blytheville, about the same, 2 inches in Dyersburg, 2.5 inches in Ripley. So that flash flood warning is in effect for the Memphis Metro for the next couple of hours. So if you are going to be out driving around, even though the storms are past, that heavy rain is going to continue. And of course, Corinth, Ripley, you haven't even seen the rain yet. It is just now coming into you. Same story in Selmer. I did want to give kind of a wide view of what it looks like around town and kind of around the area. If you are just joining us, we've got some good news to provide. Things are starting to move out, but we got a little bit more to go. I will say again, eastern Arkansas, you're clear of any severe weather threat. Metro Memphis, including DeSoto County and Crittenden County, you are clear of that severe weather threat. The areas we're really going to be watching is Selmer, Corinth, Ripley, even Oxford. Things are starting to wind down. So it's really, I've got about 3 counties I'm going to keep an eye on. That is going to be Tippah, Alcorn, and McNary. Hopefully by 10 p.m. we can get this completely out of the area, at least the severe weather threat. We will have some rain and wind that will continue, but the worst of the weather looks to be winding down here by 10 p.m. We still have about 45 minutes to go. If you're in Ripley or Corinth, Selmer, we want to find a good place to stay inside. We don't have any tornado warnings up there. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for the gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour. But the only tornado warning now is in Lafayette County. And I did want to provide some good news there. I've been getting a lot of pictures of my friends watching down in Oxford. So there are folks listening down there. So I do want to provide an update down there. If you're in the city of Oxford, if you're on the campus of Ole Miss, the threat of a tornado has passed you. The worst of the weather is done. It's now moved off to the east. Still some trouble on Highway 278. I would not be driving between Oxford and Tupelo tonight on 278. But if you are in the city of Oxford, I can give you the all clear from that threat of a tornado. Now the warning continues for areas east of Oxford until 9:30. But as far as the campus of Ole Miss and the city of Oxford, you are all clear from that weather threat. Again, lots of lightning, a good bit of a heavy rain there on Highway 278 east of Oxford. I want to check our rotation in there and just kind of give a better idea of how things are looking. Is the rotation still significant? And this is one of those products that I know it doesn't make any sense to you. It's just a little confusing. We've got a couple of areas of spin here. One coming into Union County. That'll be crossing I-22 near Myrtle and could eventually be an issue for southern Tippah County. We've got another little area along 278 on the east side of Oxford. That one not quite as impressive, at least not for now, but it's that area there that I'm really going to be keeping an eye on here for the next little bit. This mode might clean it up a little bit, and there you can see kind of those 2 separate areas of rotation moving off to the east. This is kind of one of those tricky times where the storm is going to leave our official ABC24 area, people that can watch us, and then come back in. So Union County here, where New Albany is, that is technically a part of the Columbus, Mississippi and Tupelo, Mississippi television market. So folks on cable and satellite out here don't get us, but as the storm moves off to the north and east, it's gonna come back into Tippah County, and those are the folks that do get us on cable and satellite. So we're gonna kind of jump over one county here. We'll keep an eye on it. I know we've got some over-the-air folks that might be watching there in Union County. So we're not forgetting about you, but we just cannot provide provide you that more detailed coverage. That's going to fall to the Tupelo TV station down there. But as that moves off to the north and east, still going to watch southern Tippah County for some signs of rotation. No warning yet. Right now, that warning is going to continue for far eastern Lafayette County. You saw they trimmed it back just a little bit. It now does not include Oxford. That's what I was just saying. Oxford, you're clear of the weather threat. It's pretty much right there along the Union, Pontotoc, and Lafayette County line. Possible tornado located near Etta, 7 miles west of New Albany, and moving northeast at an incredible speed of about 70 miles an hour. These storms are not kidding around. They're moving. Let me tell you what, again, that's going to put it back into our area around Blue Mountain by 9:45. That BTI still on the high side with about a 39% chance of this thing putting a tornado on the ground right now. Other than that, though, that's really the only major concern. Some very strong winds now up in McNairy County and Selmer. But things are starting to improve just a little bit. Like I said, I do believe by 10 p.m. things will be looking a lot better. I think we can give everybody the complete all clear by 10:30 at the absolute latest. But definitely some good winds in here. Even without the threat of a tornado, you take that out of the picture. This line of storms, it's starting to clear Ashland a little bit, but it's just coming into Ripley and Corinth, also into Selmer. You've got the wind, the heavy rain, and the lightning. Good news is things are winding down in Memphis. Still got some gusty winds, but the rain is starting to slack off just a little bit. Those are those areas we're still watching, but we don't want to forget we do technically have an active tornado warning for parts of Lafayette County. Danielle's been keeping a close eye on that while I've been running my trap. So let's get back over to Danielle, and she's got more details on what is going on down there in Lafayette County. We know Oxford is clear, but what's going on now?
Right. So I've been looking at some of our threat trackers. I'm definitely still dealing with that hail threat that is continued with this storm. The good news is that we've seen the hail size kind of go down. I know one time that we came to me, it was around an inch size hail, but now things are looking a little bit better, which is good news. However, this storm is still very, very strong. So I don't want anyone to take anything away from that. This storm is definitely very, very strong as it continues to move, and the tornado warning does not expire until 9:30 tonight. So I want to see if we can get a little bit better idea. Some of these spots, these little bright pink spots on your screen showing 1 inch hail right near Myrtle. So if you have not gotten to your safe place just yet and you are in Myrtle, you definitely want to get into that area at this time. Definitely still some strong storms moving through the area. We also were looking at heavy rainfall at times with this storm. As you can take a look here, maybe even 2 inches per hour. And in fact, the National Weather Service was just talking about maybe issuing a flash flood. Yeah, there's a flash flood warning for Lafayette and Panola until 12:30 in the morning. So the heavy rainfall, like Trevor was saying, the severe threat will be clear in around 45 minutes. However, that doesn't mean that the rain is going to stop. The rain will continue, and we've gotten so much rain in this one area in Lafayette County as well as in Panola County that is definitely a cause for concern across the Mid-South. I'm going to put a little bit of we call these little pixel queries so we can see exactly how high the winds are, especially in the very bright portions there, around maybe 51 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. So that's not too bad, still very strong. And as that update went through, it just showed 29 miles an hour. So like I said, the winds are calming just a little bit, but this is still a very strong system, folks. So if you know anyone that is living in that area, you definitely want to make sure that you're weather aware. Now, the National Weather Service did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible for Alcorn and Tippah County. So this is the same storm system. They just decided, you know what, we're going to go with a severe thunderstorm warning instead of a tornado warning, which is good news. However, the tornado warning is still in effect, and that is going to be going until 9:30. Now, they might cancel a little bit early because it is 9:22. And we will keep our eye on it. But here's a look at the radar so that you can see exactly what we are talking about. I'll zoom out just a little bit. So this new severe thunderstorm warning, it does include Tippah County. It's headed towards Corinth as well as Ripley. The heavy rainfall might not have arrived just yet at your doorstep, but it is definitely on the way. You definitely want to make sure that you're being very weather aware in that regard. Let's see if we can put some new storm tracks on there for you. Here we go. Myrtle at 9:25 p.m. Blue Mountain at 9:31 p.m., Dumas at 9:35 p.m., Ripley as well at 9:35 p.m., Jumpertown at 9:43 p.m., Boonville at 9:46 p.m., Kossuth at 9:48 p.m., and Renzi at 9:49 p.m. So the storm is still very, very strong at this time, and our radar is showing that it could be moving upwards of 87 miles an hour in some places. Here's another storm track for you. Definitely this whole entire line is continuing to push northeast. So that's why we keep clicking around to see exactly what we're looking at. But you can see severe, it's moving east, northeast at around 87 miles an hour. And that hail has definitely been something that I've been keeping my eye on because it's been a cause for concern for me. And the good news is right now we haven't heard of any storm damage at all. Here's a look at our hail tracker. So as you can see, I'll zoom out just a little bit so we can see a little bit better. That pink on your screen shows the path this storm has really been taking as it came through Panola County where Batesville is, through Oxford, and now it's headed towards New Albany and Ripley and Corinth and near Boonville, and that is near Highway 45. It's about to cross I-22 there right near New Albany. Still very heavy rainfall in that area. Here we go, tree on a house on the 100 block of County Road at 104 in Lafayette County. So those winds were definitely high. I know one time we clicked on it and it showed that it was 85 mile an hour winds. So definitely anticipating maybe some at least more power outages in North Mississippi at the very least. But that is very concerning. I'll keep my eye and monitor our chat to make sure that we're not seeing any more storm damage, but that is definitely our first report other than some trees falling down in Poinsett County. But this is a tree on a house in Lafayette County. So definitely want to make sure, check on your people. If you're in Lafayette County, make sure that everyone is okay. This is definitely a kind of a scary system as it moves through because it's happening so fast. So if you weren't really in your safe place, you want to make sure that you're in it now, especially if you have not gotten towards the storm just yet. I know it's a very busy screen for us tonight, and it's been a very busy night for us here in the Mid-South, but we're devoted to making sure that you guys are okay and that you remain safe. That's our number one concern for any of our viewers, whether you are online or watching us. Here's a look at some possible shear moving through New Albany. So definitely this storm isn't quite weak enough yet to cancel that tornado warning, but they did go with a severe thunderstorm warning in place of that. So that's good news there. But Trevor, we've been seeing a lot happening with this one storm system in Oxford and Lafayette County. And as it continues to push northeast, it's definitely something that, you know, is worth to continue watching, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And I was actually just going to kind of talk on to that because we're getting to a time where some things are going to be changing here in the next little bit, because at 9:30, that tornado warning is slated to expire. That tornado warning that includes eastern Lafayette County. So we've got about 5 more minutes. Technically, that is a time that we would then leave you because we don't have any active tornado warnings and we don't have any active severe thunderstorm warnings for Memphis. But because we are so close to this being out of here and because of the seriousness of the situation that we are seeing, I think by 9:45 or 10, this will be done either way. So here's what I think we're going to do. And back in the booth, if you want to do this, let me know. I think we'll probably just cover up the rest of CW30 News at 9. And we'll continue streaming on the website. And then we can send ABC back to regular programming at 9:30 in about 4 minutes. And of course, we will hop back on if a situation is threatening enough. But I'm going to stay on channel 30. So if you want to find us on CW30, we will continue our coverage there. We would normally be scheduled to be doing our newscast anyway. And it doesn't make sense to me to just start it halfway in the middle. So we're just going to continue with that through 10 o'clock. I think by 10 o'clock, we will be in better shape. And then Rudy's very excited that he does not have to do his newscast. He is packing his belongings. You are welcome, Rudy. I'll take my cash tip later for getting you out of here a little sooner. But then hopefully by 10 p.m. We can get things out of here. We'll be in a little bit of better shape. And then with any luck, we can do ABC24 News at 10 o'clock. as regularly scheduled. So that's just kind of our housekeeping note there. We will prepare to send ABC back to regular programming in about 3 minutes from now. Stand by for my cue from that. But it does look like for now that tornado threat has wound down a little bit. Again, we're still watching a few counties here. We're watching McNairy County and Selmer, Alcorn County and Corinth, and still some very heavy rain and wind in Ripley and Tippah County. But for right now, this is moving really quickly. Like Danielle said, 60 to 70 miles an hour. So think how quickly you can drive from Ashland to Corinth. It doesn't take that long, maybe about 30 or 45 minutes, and then it's already past Ashland by a long shot. So hopefully here soon, again, we'll just stay with you here for the next 30 minutes on CW30 and on the live stream. I've been getting a lot of messages of people saying that the live stream has been helpful. So I don't want to desert Corinth just because they're not technically under a tornado warning. So we're just going to stay with this and hang out for a little bit longer. Hopefully that tornado warning can drop soon, but you can see the times. Kossuth by, and everybody pronounces that differently, by the way. I used to work down in that area. There's Kossuth, there's Kossuth. I probably need to check with a local to figure out exactly the pronunciation, but you know where I'm talking about. You'll bear with me. I'll call the post office. That's what we usually do. That's the best way because post office knows how to say the town name. We'll check in with them and get that actual pronunciation. Corinth, we know how to say that. 9:41 is when that is going to be with the strongest rain and the strongest wind into your area. But for now, Memphis, the rain is done. The winds are still a little breezy out there, but that severe weather threat is over. The severe weather threat is pretty much over for everybody except for let's say McNairy, Alcorn, Tippah counties, Lafayette. It's clearing from you. And again, within the next minute, we will be able to get things back in better shape. It is just a little bit out of our area. It's in Pontotoc, but just to show you kind of what the storm has done as it moved out of Oxford, a tree and a power line down across Highway 9 South at Hope Lane in Pontotoc. So that's going to be kind of to the south and east of Oxford. Highway 9, of course, joins with 7 and then splits off of Oxford to meet up with 45 alternate. I'll be driving down there in about 2 hours from now for a weather conference in Starkville. So I know that area well, and you know where I'm talking about along Highway 9. So some trees down there. You probably don't want to take that route. But again, this is moving out pretty quickly. Still some very strong winds, though, in Ripley, Corinth, and Selmer. Everybody else starting to wrap up. Batesville, you've got some heavy rain, but it doesn't look like that storm is producing any severe weather. Okay, it does look like it is 9:30 now. And correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that tornado warning was slated to expire at 9:30. So as soon as that drops off our map, we will send ABC24 back to regularly scheduled programming here, hopefully in just a couple of seconds. Again, if you're watching on ABC24, switch over to channel 30 if you want weather coverage. We're also streaming live on ABC24.com. You can watch us on the ABC24 Plus app for Roku and Fire TV. We're going to be on there for at least the next 30 minutes. And of course, we will be back for ABC24 News at 10 p.m. But for now, we're going to stay on CW30. We will send ABC24 back to your regularly scheduled programming. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes.